Hey guys, it's me, Dani. Welcome back to Calico Flower Studio, and today I'm gonna make a collage in my new apartment. So that's exciting. So sit back and relax and enjoy. Right, Dahlia? Yes.
Okay, so today I'm going to make the collage inspired by this calendar that my mom gave me. She traveled to Greece and brought this back because she knows I love cats. And I thought it would be a neat inspiration just for the color scheme. I already used this image for something, so I'm going to use the next page. I just thought this one looked really peaceful. It's like just so calm and serene, and I feel like I need more of that in my life, so let's get started. So this is an envelope, or the inside of an envelope. It's got like a blue crisscross pattern on it. This is, I don't even know where this came from, but my mother-in-law sent it to me. I get some materials from people all the time, but it's like an ocean view. This is a piece of yellow construction paper. This is a photograph from a orchard when I went to visit an apple orchard in Ohio. It's already been cut up a little bit, so I'm using the scraps, of course. This is just a piece of brown colored paper with some drops of paint on it. This is an envelope. My aunt sent me a card in this envelope, and I really like the stripes on it. It's also a potted plant on the other side. This is a strip of watercolor paper with some watercolor on it. It's kind of faint, but that's what I like about it. And this is a ring from a watercolor project I did. And this is just a piece of brown craft paper with some discoloration that I thought was kind of interesting. So that's it. That's all I brought. Let me wipe off the paper here. Roll up my sleeves. So I'm going to start off with this piece, this ocean. It's like from a boat or something. But I find that, so I mentioned that I'm making this in my new apartment. And, it's been kind of interesting making artwork in a new space. This is the first video that I've made since I moved. And working in a new space has caused me to rethink the scale of my work. So in this new space, I've been kind of trying to figure out how to make artwork in a space that's in a smaller space. I don't have as big of a space to make here, but that's okay. I just have to think differently about it. So I've been making small works a lot, just these little 4x6 pieces, and experimenting a lot because, if I do something small every day, I try a lot of different things. And what's kind of nice about it is I found that it really, being able to experiment so much has caused me to discover a lot of new things. And I've been making differently. So I've been using photographs a lot more often in my work. I don't normally use photographs as much. I usually use just like colored material. So I have a feeling this collage is going to be influenced by those small works I've been making lately, and some of the new marks and visual language I've been using will show up here. I'm using the composition of that calendar photograph as well to inspire where I'm putting these pieces. So there was a piece of architecture that the cat was sitting on, and that's sort of what I'm thinking as I'm putting these watercolor blocks here. Gotta hold it down. It's so funny when I make collages. A lot of my time is spent just holding things in place until it dries. Kind of gives you a moment to pause and think too when you have to do that. It's the same with a lot of things, like if you're painting, especially if you're painting with watercolor, there's those moments where you just kind of have to sit and wait for the paint to dry, or in this case, the glue. Gotta hold it. What I love about this piece is there's a pencil mark on it. I've been thinking a lot about graphite and more delicate lines too, but you can see along the top of that, there's like a pencil mark. So this little piece, I'm using that plant, that brownish beige plant, to continue the flow of that yellow piece up towards the right corner of the composition. I like the way those two pieces sort of talk to each other. One thing that has been interesting about my new practice in my new apartment of making small works is that I've also made a conscious effort to be more mindful of my use of color. Usually in the past, and this is, it's worked out for me, but I don't know, I just, you always want to try to change it up and see how thinking about something differently can be exciting. But I've organized all my collage pieces by color, and before I start a piece, I sort of choose a little color story. And that's what I did with this one by finding the inspiration in that calendar. So, I'm using light blues, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of brown, some beige. So far, it's been really nice having a little color story or color scheme. In the past, I was more interested in texture and pattern, and I definitely still am, but now I'm considering color and what effect that can have. What I love about this little piece of photograph next to my brown circle there is if you look really closely, there's a teeny tiny little horizon line. So it's like there's a little miniature landscape within that one collage piece. Oh, I like the way the top of that collage piece flows into the top line of the yellow piece. I know I'm covering up my beloved pencil mark there that I thought was so neat, but that's okay. you know, a lot of my process is making decisions about what am I willing to cover up and let go, and what am I willing to keep. So that's, I guess, a trade-off right there. But it's hard because, I, as an artist, find value in so many little tiny details, and so it's like, I just want them all to show, but it's okay. That's just part of the process. It's like a practice in letting go. In the end, it makes things more interesting, I find myself having the thought, or just asking myself, what if I just covered this up? What if I just took this one section of the piece and just wiped it out by putting something over it? And it sort of disrupts the composition in a new and interesting way, You lose one thing, but you gain something else, I guess. Right? This brown paper, I didn't realize until I started gluing it, and I love when this happens, but sometimes thinner material, when I add the glue to it with water, because I always add a little bit of water so that everything really, really sticks. But some thinner material, if I add the glue, I discover that it's somewhat transparent or translucent. I don't know. I always get confused. Transparent, translucent. I always thought transparent was that you could see completely through something, and translucent was that only some light comes through, hence the word lucent. But anyway, that brown piece that's covering I guess it's beige, that little beige piece that's covering the yellow there, it's somewhat it's see-through. It's see-through. Which is very interesting. One thing I love about thin material too is when it's layered on top of other pieces, if they're thick enough, you can see the ridges of it, and so it's like creating a little landscape on top of the painting, or the painting collage, whatever it is. And it's hard to see right now, but that's happening with the yellow piece too. The yellow piece has the shape of the watercolor strip underneath it poking through. You can see the ridge. It creates a sort of texture, or it's like a bump. I try to accentuate that when I can. It's just one of the interesting things about layering material. Now these little pieces, these little pieces I'm sticking on right now are very thick. So they are raised bumps. It's on thick watercolor paper. That's a whole other texture, or I guess dimension of the piece. Sort of loosely putting them on. I definitely have the potential to be very neurotic about the way things are placed, so that, I could put these on very neatly, very straight next to each other, not crooked or flowing, but I actually have to consciously, and I'm sure a lot of other artists can relate to this, but I have to consciously hold back and, well, not hold back, but really just let loose and allow things to be a little um, free-flowing and messy, I guess. Because I think when I'm able to do that, it's much more interesting to look at. This is getting close to done. Oh my goodness, hello. Hello, Bubba. Oh my goodness. That's Clover. He's my little one. He's a kitten. He's 7 months now. So sweet. Well, yeah, he's a sweet boy. But he's a kitten, so very curious. I feel like this needs something. You know what? I think I'm missing that graphite, that pencil line. So I'm going to add some pencil lines up at the top here. And once again, allowing myself to be sort of scribbly and let loose and not super perfect about it. So I just sort of let my mark making I don't know, like, how do I describe it? It's like, I just sort of move my hand and then whatever shape comes out, that's what it is. I love these little hash marks. That's probably one of my favorite mark making techniques or patterns that I do and that I repeat a lot in my work. In other videos, I've explained what this mark kind of means to me, but I'll say briefly again here, but it sort of reminds me of like my cat's hair. It's definitely a huge part of my life and my life at home for sure. But I like the way it travels. It just travels across the page. I'm going to add some other marks here with this paint pen. This pen is actually, I think I'm running out of paint. But you know what? Honestly, I think that's okay. That's kind of a good thing right now because it's going to make my marks even more loose and less controlled. So each mark will be a little different. So they're not going to be like perfect little polka dots. It's going to be more organic looking. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, organic. That kind of balances out the hash marks at the top, the pencil marks. It's like this small little collection of marks. Sort of nestled in the corner there. I think that this collage is different from the other ones that I've made on this channel because I'm actually I'm including other media other than collage, like just paper collage. I'm actually going in with mark making tools and drawing. You know, I don't draw on this channel, very much. But that's part of the influence of my that small works practice that I mentioned, where it's kind of been changing the way I make, because I've been experimenting with different things, and I like that. I like how this piece has turned out, because it's a reflection of how I've been making lately. It's a little different, a little more calm, I think, even though there's a lot going on here. I feel a sense of calm when I look at this. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, and you can find this piece on calicoflowerstudio.com. It's called Breeze, and it's going to be framed. So yeah, check it out. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's me, Dani. Welcome back to Calico Flower Studio.